Hey guys, Josh, J. Williams Painting. Let's talk about a very important tool setup. This is our brush and roll kit. Here we have a 2-gallon bucket, as you can see, which every painter should have a couple of, a 2.5-gallon bucket liner, and a 2-gallon grid. Bucket liner is great because it saves us from having to constantly scrape and clean buckets, which takes up a lot of time and can create quite a mess. So, the liner goes in the 2-gallon bucket, the grid goes in, the arms get firmly attached to the back so this doesn't slide around, and then when we're working off ladders or scaffolds or whatnot, we use a pot hook. So this can hang from a ladder while we work. Now let's talk about brushes and rollers. We'll first start out with a 2-inch angled sash brush, which is kept in a cardboard case to keep the brushes warm. When we're working with the setup, we like to use this little tool here, which is a magnet that clips on to the brush and then attaches to the bucket. So as you can see, the bucket will be hanging or be held, and we can brush, and then neatly attach to the rim of the bucket without the brush going to the bottom and becoming oversaturated with paint. Let's talk about the 6-inch weenie roller, a very, very common tool that we use. Here we have a roller handle, and then we have our roller nap. Now, before we attach the two, we want to make sure that this is smooth and free of paint. If this is loaded with paint and dirty, it will keep the roller from spinning freely, which is what we want. If this isn't moving, remove the roller nap, take a little bit of sandpaper, sand whatever's off on there, create a nice smooth surface, reattach, and should roll like a wheel. When using a new weenie roller, you'll find that lots of lint and other debris will be in it from the manufacturing. We can't go ahead and use this on a wall or a piece of trim. You'll see all the lint, it'll look like crap. So the way that we clean these things before we use them, we take a long strip of tape, and we roll the weenie roller up and down thoroughly from corner to corner. Until it's all fluffed up. You'll take a look at the tape, and you'll see lots of lint and weenie roller hair on that. This is now ready to use. If we're painting walls that are going to be flat, or any wall in general, roller stipple is just fine. Now, if we're painting woodwork, any kind of woodwork, whether that may be in an eggshell or all the way up to a satin sheen, we're going to want to load the roller, apply the paint to the surface, and then always use our angle sash brush to tip off that surface so we don't see roller stipple. When using very shiny materials such as glossy polyurethane or glossy enamel, we can't use a normal brush to tip that material off. What we do is we apply the material with either a foam or a microfiber weenie roller, and then we tip it off with a foam brush. What this gives us is the closest possible finish to a sprayed finish. Talk about another commonly used brush. This is a chip brush, aka cheap brush. These are relatively cheap and primarily used once or twice. We use this on oil-based materials. It is a bristle brush, so it's not used for water-based. For example, we need to spot prime using Cover Stain or Kills or any other oil-based primer. This can be thrown out afterwards. We also use this for applying stain. Now, before using these, you need to make sure that any loose bristles are removed with your fingers or rubbed out with the wire brush so that loose bristles don't end up in your finish. When we're working out of our 2-gallon brush and roll setup, and we go on break or lunch, we can never just leave this sitting in the sun. The paint will dry, tools inside it will dry. You have to clean them. So what we like to do is take a wet rag, simply place it over the lid. This keeps everything moist. You can return to your setup after lunch or your break. When we're done for the day, no need to clean this out. We simply take a piece of plastic, put it around the lid of the bucket, take a roll of tape, secure the plastic. Now our 2-gallon bucket's ready for the next morning, and the paint won't be dried. We never suggest leaving your brush in the paint because the bristles will soak up the material and it'll be a mess. So what we do is we do the same thing to our brush. We cut a nice little square piece of plastic. We wrap the brush almost like it's a Christmas present. We keep a nice shape because we don't want to deform the bristles. Right? That'll work. Take a little piece of tape. Voila.